Okay, let's begin. So let's go through the inference part, all right? We just skip through the grammar MCQ parts. Let's blaze through that. Vocabulary close. Booklet A. Vocabulary close. Let's practice. Hey, they said they wanted to go through inference. Where's the inference? Oh, what? Okay. Never mind. Tell you guys what, I'll create some extra slides behind and then you all can access those, okay? Give me a quick second while I create the extra slides. And then I'll teach you all from the extra slides here. New slide, new slide, new slide, new slide, new slide. Okay. Maybe we'll start from this. Okay. First off, all right, since they didn't have the inference part, I'll still teach you anyway because I don't really need materials to teach stuff. I have it at the back of my hands. Been teaching this for the past 15 years. Okay, let's begin. So, basically, okay, an inference is a good guess. Okay, so when we read the comprehension passage behind, some of the questions you cannot find the answer. You cannot find the answer for some of the questions because it requires you to make a guess. Okay, so what's the difference between a good guess versus a bad guess? So over here we see the word, right? Good, right? So what do we mean by good? Okay, so a good guess means it's something probable in reality. And this is where a lot of students, okay, they find it difficult simply because they don't have enough experiences, right, in reality with either relationships or, sometimes with more like advanced stuff in society or general knowledge that they don't have. So let's say, okay, for example, one day you are at the neighborhood market and you are having breakfast with your family members at maybe at a hawker stall or coffee shop or whatever. And then suddenly you see some policemen, all right, they approach a group of teenagers, and those teenagers, right, are doing nothing malicious. They're not harming anyone or causing any trouble or whatever. They're just sitting around in a circle and hanging out, okay? They aren't even drinking any alcohol or smoking or whatever. But the police still goes up to them, okay, and then checks on them, gets their student ID, sometimes gets their ICs from them, check their identities and all that. And you'll be wondering, what's that all about? Right? What are these police officers doing? Why are they harassing these people who are not causing any harm or not creating a ruckus or whatever? So you don't have that knowledge, so you might immediately think, oh, I think the police officers are trying to arrest these teenagers. Yeah, they probably did something wrong in the past. That's why they need to be arrested. But you would be wrong because all the police officers are doing, they are just doing a routine check on people that they may find look that they might be congregating together. And the whole idea of that is because there are gangs in Singapore that actually have fights with each other in groups. So when they gather together like that, especially if it's a big group, right, like maybe 7 or 8, different teenagers together, the police might be concerned. So they have every right to ask for your identification, okay, and you have to give it to them. That's the law. You need to identify yourself to the legal team, to police officers. And they need to check that you are not there to create any trouble. You're not there for a gang fight. You're not there to beat someone up or chop someone to pieces. Although you might not be doing anything wrong, as long as you're in a big group, all right, the police can actually, and you're just hanging around, right? The police can actually charge you for this particular offense called loitering. Okay, loitering, which means hanging around with no purpose. So we all know that humans, when they do things, there's always a purpose, right? So people who loiter, we say they're hanging around with no purpose, but actually they have a hidden purpose. So that's why they call it loitering. So we don't know what you're up to, but it's definitely something, right, that's bad. So we have our eyes on you, you're loitering. Okay? So that's some information, right, that you might not have, you see? And that's why I say this is very tricky for students, okay? Because it tests you on your concept of what's possible and what's probable in reality. And that's the whole challenge to it. Okay, so let me use a resource that I love using for inference. This one. Stage 3 reading, no. Inference, training, quizzes, pro-profs. Okay, you let me know what you think. Okay, let's start. So you can give me your answer. Read this carefully. And then tell me whether it's A, B, C, or D. Chloe wasn't much of a writer, but what she could do with a brush and canvas was incredible. You give her any topic to write on, she would do a decent job. But if you explain her a scenery, she would incredibly bring it to life on a canvas. Everyone complimented her for what she was amazing at. What does this paragraph here infer? Give me your answers in the chat group. Let's see what's happening. Kaihan is correct. Okay, Marisa is correct. Marco, you are incorrect. Marisa, you're correct. Brian is incorrect. Regina is incorrect. Yunshen and Emma are incorrect. Tristan, you are correct. Corinne, you're incorrect. Brian, you're incorrect. Emma, you're correct now. Yunshen is wrong. Regina is wrong. Josiah is wrong. Brian is correct. Jianing is correct. Josiah is correct now. Yunshen is correct. Regina is correct. Corinne is correct. Okay, so some of you actually gave me the answer 1 and 2, but that's not correct. Okay, you have to read it carefully. Did it say that Chloe could do anything incredibly? No, it says Chloe wasn't much of a writer, which means she did not write well, because wasn't means was not. She was not much of a writer, so she didn't really write stories very well. But she could use a brush and a canvas incredibly, right? Brush as in paintbrush, canvas as in the big white thing that the artist actually paints on. Marco, you're correct now, okay? Rachel, you're correct. Good. So, did it say that Chloe could write anything incredibly? No, it says you give her any topic to write on, she would do a decent job. Decent meaning okay, decent, like not too bad, not too good, like somewhere in the middle. She would do a decent job if you ask her to write about something. But if you explain a scenery to her, she can bring it to life on canvas, which means if you can explain a picture to her, she can bring the picture to life by painting it. So she's actually an incredible painter. So her art skills were amazing. Okay? So her art skills were amazing. Correct. Wow. Right? So this is the feedback. Okay, I've explained the feedback, same as what we saw just now. Next. Now read this and tell me whether your answer is A, B, C, or D. Okay, Regina, you are correct. Sarah, you're correct. Kaihan, you're right. Jianing, you're correct. Emma, you're correct. Rachel, you are correct. Marissa, you're correct. Yes, Marissa, you're correct. Marco, you're right. Marissa, you're correct. Everyone seems to be getting this. Very good. Tristan, you're right. Any more answers from everyone else? Brian, you're correct. Good. Yunxian, you're right. Karin, you are right. Josiah, you are correct. Good. No. Josiah, sorry, you're wrong, Josiah. I'm sorry. It's not right. Okay. So it seems like no more questions are trickling in. Let's have a quick look. Okay. So Peter was trying as hard as he could to stay awake. Yes, Josiah, you're correct now. Okay. What is the most important clue that we have over here? He was trying hard to stay awake, but he still fell asleep. Everyone told him that he was real. Now, does it make sense that people told Peter that he was real? Peter, you're a real boy. You're not a fake boy, okay? You're a real boy. It doesn't make sense here, right? Out of nowhere. But everyone told him that he was real. So the he over here must mean someone else, right? Yes, Josiah, you may. So he wanted to make sure with his own eyes, but he tried to stay awake, but he fell asleep at 9:45. The next moment, it was 7 a.m. and presents were all around in his room. So presents, staying up to see if someone was real. It's a guy that you must make sure is real. Who's this guy? It's actually Santa Claus. Therefore, the presents, right? In Christmas, we receive presents. Okay, and he wanted to make sure that Santa Claus was real, but he still fell asleep at 9:45, and in the morning, suddenly there were presents all around his room. So it was Christmas Eve, and he wanted to see Santa Claus with his own eyes. All right, that's the inference over here. So Peter was trying so hard to stay awake at night because it was Christmas Eve and he wanted to see Santa and make sure that Santa was real because everyone told him that Santa was real. Okay? Next. So as we go, the questions get a little bit harder and harder, okay? Turner almost wished that he hadn't listened to the radio. He went to the closet and grabbed his umbrella. He would feel silly carrying it to the bus stop on such a sunny morning. What probably happened? Brian, you're correct. Good. Okay, this time I'll get someone to explain why the answer is correct. Marissa, you're correct. Yunxian, you're correct. Good. Marco is correct. Jianing, you're right. Regina, you're correct. Good. Karin, you are correct.